Half a fucking million. I'm speechless. I'm gobsmacked. I'm flabbergasted. I never thought this would ever happen when I started my YouTube channel, and it's all thanks to you guys. So thank you. So this calls for a very special video. Story time with Daddy Caddy.
Hello boys and girls, and welcome to Story Time with Daddy Caddy. I hope you're all sitting comfortably because I'm about to begin. Now, hush now, shh. Be quiet now. Shut up! Okay, now, this is the classic... Sit down! This is the classic story of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, that was against the rules. So the teacher got a hatchet and gutted it from the inside, and all the kids had lamb burgers for lunch.
Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddy Crush Show, where I always have to do the dirty deed of deciding whether or not a game deserves to be slaughtered or salvaged. And what a task I've set myself up for today. In fact, it's such a big task, I'm not even going to bother trying to slaughter or salvage it. Yes, indeed, and this particular video idea I've had planned all the way since 100,000 subscribers, just in case, for whatever reason, by some miracle, I hit 500,000 subscribers. So this has been in plan for a long time, and I'm so happy I finally get to do it, and we will get to do it. But before we do, I have a question for everybody. Who remembers Net Your Rose on PS1?
Oh, I've been waiting to talk properly about this thing for ages. Net Your Rose was released in 1997 around Europe and Australia, North America and Japan, and it was a sexy matte black PS1 retailing at around $750. For inflation's sake, today that's the equivalent to $1,122.60, holy shit. And luckily you don't just get a black PS1, you also received a lot of manuals and, get this, software development kits. For you see, if you had an IBM PC or Macintosh as well as $750 just lying around being used as a doormat, you could program your very own PS1 games and send them straight to the Net Your Rose PS1, where you can test the game, enter debug menus, and all without any region locking at all. It was a PS1 console that could do practically anything, as well as play any game from any region, and I'd love to have one, but...
You can fuck right off, I'm not paying that much for it. Look at how powerful my PC has to be to run it all on another 10 megabyte hard drive, fuck off!
And the great thing about Net Your Rose, which Your Rose in Japanese literally means let's do it together, is that people could obviously make their own games, but in the official UK PlayStation magazine, they'd also be able to put up the full completed games into their demo discs ready for millions of people in the UK to play whatever these random people had made in their bedrooms from all over the world. This shit must have been way ahead of its time in the late 90s.
And it does sound pretty funny being able to play games made by random members of the public, but in all seriousness, some very prominent figures in gaming nowadays got their start in Net Your Rose development, with some games even getting released on Xbox Live Arcade, and even Mitsuru Kamiyama, who developed 2 games under Net Your Rose himself, is now the director of the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles series at Square Enix.
So hey, this is already pretty promising. So how about for 500,000 subscribers, we do a marathon of Net Your Rose games. Oh yes, one after the other, on multiple demo discs, and some even from other countries around the world. Today, everybody, let's just do it and play through 66 different games. Yes, 66. That's more than Action 52. As we decide if the Neche Rose was even a good idea at all in the first place, or if indeed the people that made all of these games wasted all of their money in the late 90s and shouldn't have ever been game designers in the first place. We are so fucking horrible. Happy 500,000 subscribers, everybody. Let's do this.
Okay, so game number 1, Terra Incognita. Fuck, nice title screen, devs. And wow, this was done by a handful of people on a PS1 in the late 90s with no budget at all. I'm impressed. And yes, multiple languages is lovely, but as you'll soon see, you might as well play in Japanese.
No kidding. What do you say at this point? I know a rumor that there is golden pedestal in the ancient ruins in this island.
I know, but they say the treasure is protected by horrible monster.
We cannot prove such thing without doing anything. We have managed several times till now. Everything go well this time too.
Take care and go by yourself.
You are still a coward, guy.
But I am really, really scary.
Well, yep, I can agree with that. Wow, there's even opening credits? And listen to this music. You know what? I'm honestly stunned this wasn't made by a third-party publisher exclusively for Sony or anything. This looks and sounds great. It plays alright too. It's a puzzle game that plays like, believe it or not, Captain Toad. You're given a load of floaty, squarish stages. You can twist the stage at every angle you can, solve puzzles, and here you can even fight. Yeah, it's shit, and you get locked into place after every time you get attacked, so you can't counter back, but it's something. But then on level 3, I fucked up, and that's it. Game over. I can't move this metal crate any further down to this switch, meaning I can't use this box to get the key up here, meaning that fuck it, next game. Game 2 is Blitter Boy by Video Clay Productions. Well, that's not exactly as impressive as Team Fatal, is it? Get your shit together. Don't you wink at me, you little fucker. Well, holy shit, this is surprising. This game rocks. You save babies who all seem to think you're their dad. Meaning that Blitter Boy must be a horny old toad. You're winking at me to put more babies inside me, boy. And you shoot ghosts to ominous music and use power-ups. It controls great, the power-ups are fun, the graphics are really pretty, and yeah, it's hard as balls, but definitely the best game so far. Game 3 is winning the award for best music ever. I can jam to this. Where's my bass? So the game is basically 3D Pac-Man. It works well enough, but that fucking epic jazzy bass tune never stops no matter what. I love it. And every time you get a power-up, you hear this. Every time you start a stage, you hear this. And every time you die, my god, you hear this. What the actual shit? This is my favorite game ever made. But yeah, the game's okay. Not much more to say. Let's move on. Game 4, A Dog Tale. Cool. Okay, I thought that was in the background, fuck off. And I really don't mean to be too critical about a game made in this way, but holy shit, these controls are some of the worst in a platform I've ever played. You're heavier than a safe, you barely jump, everything is too fast, I can't grab this key here, and looking at this guy's face tells me that I won't miss anything if I skip it. Number 5, Rocks and Gems. Well, this doesn't seem too bad, I mean... So yeah, you die very quickly in this game and it's fucking impossible. You have to collect these gems here, but the rules on how and why the rocks drop down change every few seconds. I don't get why sometimes they fall and sometimes they don't. Either way, I guess if you learn the rules properly, it'll be an alright high-octane puzzle game, but for me, it's just a load of... Game 6, Total Soccer. Honestly, I'm really impressed here. I mean, I couldn't give a salty pig anus about football at all, but I can at least appreciate the level of depth on display here. It's very impressive. And the game works well too. Never before has a match between Liverpool and Manchester United been so intense. You can even instant replay any last few seconds of the game with the press of the circle button. It's so awesome. Come on, Liverpool, let's win this game. Yeah, I shouldn't be playing these games, should I? Game 7 is Mahjong. I can't really say much about it. It works really well, and it's Mahjong. Shut up. Game 8, Haunted Maze. Okay, once you get over the horrifying intro, this game is pretty fun. You have to quickly find every item in the maze and avoid ganking monsters, or else... Yeah, that happens. The music is a mix of awesome Baroque and classical pieces. The graphics aren't the worst I've ever seen for a game made in this way. The gameplay is simple but fast and challenging, and those noises the monsters make used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. To be honest though, the music in level 4 complements your goofy walk cycle just a little bit too well. Game 9, Bouncer 2. A pretty novel concept, actually. It's Breakout, yet you have two people bouncing on these weighing scales, picking up momentum as they knock down everything. And hitting the floor isn't a life loss, as you just lose momentum. It's pretty cool shit. And the fact you can swap the guys around on the fly adds to the charm. I like it. Moving on. Game 10, Stonegate. Okay, it's a fighting game. I guess it's 2 players only, though, as the opponent never moves. Yeah, I'm done here. Number 11, Gas Girl. What is all this about? What's going on? Okay, I have no idea what's going on. You're now in a 2D platform with 3D sprites as you collect floating bottoms and fart on enemies. I'm not even joking. Whoever made this was fucking sick. And it turns out that the controls are stiff and you have to constantly face away from the enemies so your gaseous tunnel can attack in the first place. So overall, it isn't very fun, and why are you watching me through my bedroom window? Game 12, Hover Racing. Well, I mean, it's no F-Zero or Wipeout, but fuck, it's functional and actually pretty damn fun. You get lots of cars to pick through, decent track designs, kick-ass music, decent controls if a little heavy. It's solid stuff here. Bravo, Satu Tomokazu. Game 13. Okay, I have to reach the flag as this ladybug while avoiding scorpions. This is odd. And now I'm stuck. Where do I go? I can't move fast enough to go around them, so what? Oh. Well, now I really am stuck. I'm pressing all the buttons, it's not doing anything. This is it now. A load of wank. I do love how the water effect is just platforms rising and falling at different times, though. That's pretty ingenious, I must admit. Game 14, Nanatan. Holy hell, this is cool. I guess it's an infinite running tank game where you avoid rockets and fire at as many things as possible for your score, which would be fine, but this one turret here follows your movements, and by the time you fire at the thing, it's impossible to get away from its counterfire since you can't strafe or move away fast, meaning... Yeah, moving on. Game 15, Cat Game. Oh god almighty. This is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen, and the gameplay is even worse. Move left and right, get fish in basket, don't let other fish hit the floor or lose a life, all while listening to some of the worst music ever that for some reason fucks up its timing around every loop.
Oh god, where are we now? Only at number 16?
This is Tan Tank, a difficult but enjoyable tank destruction game. Every tank has different attacks, different health bars, and you even have a manual gear system to work around. I wanted to keep going with this one because it was quite fun, but I couldn't pass stage 1. It was really fucking difficult, but let's give this one a pass. Number 17, Columns. I must admit this one was really fun and addicting. You have to match up 3 or more of the same colored symbols as they quickly drop from the top, kind of like Tetris, but with a twist. And instead of just rotating the shapes around, you can freely flip on what order the colors on each block go around on your next drop, and you can match diagonally as well as vertically and horizontally. Pretty damn cool and funky music. Let it pass. Number 18, a Bob. A Bob. So, I guess I'll pick Sweden because they look the cutest and also... Oh, a Bob. I get it now. Bobsled, I see. Okay, off we go. Ah, oh, fuck. Oh, good God. Fucking jeez. Oh, my. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, fuck. Jesus. We're off. And now there's a ramp. Wait, what? Help me. Help. What are you doing, guys? What are you doing? Okay, so you go down the slope as fast as you can and then rack up as many points as possible with a random ending rhythm mini-game. Kind of enjoyable. It would have been better if this bit didn't control like I wanted to kill myself, though. Number 19 is called Cart. And what? I mean, I guess it's 2-player, but wait, what? What does that mean? What does this do? What's that? Where's any sound? How? Okay, game 20, Bomb. No music again, lovely. Again, I guess 2-player only, but this makes even less sense than Cart does. Don't look at me like that, you cheeky shit. Come on, Bomb, keep on running. They never believed in you. Your mother always told you to give up. Your father always laughed at you behind your back, but you keep on running, man. To glory, to victory, to a better place. Actually, no, they were right. You're useless. Ooh, game 21, RC racing. No sound again. Jesus, I'm going mad. In fact, I'm going more mad than the morons who made this game. It controls like shit. It looks like shit. It isn't fun at all. And what kind of RC racing is this? What does RC even stand for in this case? Rectal cavity? Are we playing as flying rectal cavities? I don't know what else they could be. It looks terrible. Game 22, a third of the way there. We're getting somewhere. Pushy 2B. Okay. It's one of those games where you push blocks around and solve puzzles. The puzzles are pretty well designed, honestly, and the sound effects never fail in making me piss myself from laughter. If anything, I guess they didn't need to make some of these sounds so loud. I mean... Number 23, Psychon. Move and shoot. I like. Let's kill some bastards.
Warning, strong flashing lights approaching. Leave the video now if you don't want your eyes to hate you forever. Are you ready? Okay.
I think the game broke. I can't even move. Yes I can. Oh, look at this mess. Can we just use this image here as the official box art for this game since it's clearly polished enough for a fully retail price physical release on the shelves? Number 24, Adventure Game. I haven't played this one for years. Oh yeah, I remember this one. It was on a demo along with Rugrats Search for Reptar, I believe. Tommy will kill you in your sleep. And this game is most certainly an adventure. Well, as far as they go, anyway. Explore, fight enemies, talk to people for objectives. It's not half bad. And what's great is the sense of humor this game has. It's self-aware and parody in all the right ways, and some lines here genuinely made me laugh. Always nice to see parody done right, and this was from a guy making this from scratch without any budget. Number 25, Super Bub Contest. This game is actually fucking awesome. It should be a full game. It's like Tetris meets Mean Bean Machine, I guess. You match up colors in any line that you can make, and then use these powered colors to suck them all up. And the more you suck up and the higher combos you garner, the more gets thrown onto the opposite side, and it can get tense. This is pure awesome. Also, I'm called Chump, and my face is this. 10 out of 10. Number 26, Pandora's Box. You push boxes around into holes in 3D first person, so you can't see how to solve the puzzles at all, so it's pretty terrible, and the game makes these noises a lot. Number 27, Opera of Destruction. Well, sometimes destruction, most of the time... Hello? Enemies are supposed to attack this city here, but they never really do. Next, number 28, Time Slip. Again, an awesome game, if fucking difficult. This is the one that actually ended up remastered on Xbox Live Arcade, and good for it because it's an awesome idea executed really well. Time Slip is a platformer with a snail. Aww. And as you collect coins, jump around and find the exit, every so often... a copy of yourself appears doing exactly the same things that you just did right up until the clock went off last. And every time the clock goes off, another copy enters the game doing the same things you just did. This means you use past versions of yourself to solve puzzles, but if you collide with yourself at any point, it's game over. In all seriousness, great game. Number 29, Tanks, with an X, so it must be badass. And it's 2-player only. I can't even move.
Next!
Number 30, Decaying Orbit. Not that awful, actually. It's just very heavy with the controls, and it even has a lengthy story. All you do here is try reaching the next marked planet by boosting your engines in the right direction, but if you head for the planet too quickly, you'll bounce right off because fucking science. And if you can control your trajectory and land slowly enough, you win the stage, and you even get to fight other enemies and such. It's not bad overall, and you can even use your own custom CDs for music. Yeah, pretty cool. Number 31, Blocks. And I call it that because this game is boring. It's like Tetris, but you have free range of where you put any fucking blocks, and there's an odd power-up that you have to activate. Other than that, there's no sound, no music, it's really fucking bland, it doesn't actually control that well, and doesn't make you think, it's just wank. Number 32, Video Poker Simulator. Well, I mean, it works. I don't exactly understand who you're betting against or how you lose or win money. I mean, how do you know you've won with your hand if you can't see the other hand you've supposedly won against? I don't get it. And when you bet 5 coins and win a hand, you just get the 5 coins back, so you don't actually win anything. What?
Oh, Jesus, we're only on 33? 33? We're on game 33 and that's only halfway? Let's just hope this picks up a little bit. Come on, indie devs, impress me.
Well, I spoke too soon. Eurose Rally is a game with cars, racing, train track controls, no physics, and funny noises that make the car engine sound like creepy man sneaking in to look in a window music. Other than that, it looks okay, but it certainly isn't passable as a racing game. Onwards and upwards. Number 34, Net Eurose Intro. Wait, that's Star Wars. That's Star Wars. How did this work out legally exactly? I know I'm not a game, only 4 days of work. Wow, that took you 4 days? Oh, times have changed. This is adorable. Get out of here, you cutie. Number 35, Bendy Demo. Well, consider me sick. This is what it sounds like. A demo. with bending. No noises, no gameplay, just trippy, dippy bending. God, I'm gonna hurl. Number 36, 3D Breakout. Well, I can see the 3D, I can't see the breakout though. I keep getting points for some reason, but I'm pressing every button and nothing is happening. This isn't even me controlling the camera, the game is doing that. Oh, game over? Oh, fuck off. Number 37, Car Racing. Loving the original title there. And if you ever wanted to play a bouncier and silent version of Micro Machines, this is the game for you. I mean, it plays okay, it just isn't any fun, and it's silent. This is the most awkward date I've ever been on. Number 38, Clone. My god, this was the cause of many a nightmare when I was a kid. Fuck this game. I mean, it's actually pretty good. It's a first-person Doom clone with a map, keys, and doors and shooting. But the lack of music, fleshy, gross floors, foreboding heartbeat, and these things chasing you makes it one of the scariest games I ever played when I was a kid. Screw whoever came up with whatever these things are, and if I ever hear that scream again, I'll literally shit my pants.
Well, I did warn them. That's just wonderful.
Number 39, 3D Demo. Another demo with no gameplay or sounds, hooray. But you know, for a test of 3D, this animation and texturing is impressive for the PS1 and made by like one guy in his or her bedroom. Not much else to say except, man, the potential for something was here, but I'm not really sure what. Number 40, Feedback Demo. Oh, well, yes, I'm feeding back, alright. Feeding back from what I ate earlier and spewing it all over the floor. What even is this shit? Again, no gameplay and silence. What? Numbers? Is this how many people the screen has killed? Because that wouldn't surprise me. Number 41, Flag Demo. Okay, should we just call this thing Demo Euros, eh? Because there seems to be tons of dumping material here and I'm very confused. However, I must say that not only is this impressive flag technology for the time, but you could customize exactly how the flag blows in the wind. And with some figure combinations, it can almost be hypnotizing. Oh, baby, wiggle that chair for me. Number 42, Manic X. It's Pac-Man. What more can I say? Pac-Man! Number 43, Sneeve. What an awful name for a game. So here is a passable space shooter in a trippy-ass tunnel. It's not bad, although I have to question why on earth you have to pick up lots of the same little girl! But yeah, self-explanatory, not much else to say here. Number 44, Sound to Light. Yeah, I think this is a good sequence of numbers and letters. No. Nothing's happening. My guess is that I have to play a CD and then it makes a light effects show based on the CD I picked, and if so, that would be awesome, but I really can't do that here over copyright, so... Black Screen Simulator 1997. Number 45, Tunnel Demo, another demo, yay, and this one just makes me ill. Look at this nonsense, and every time you hit a wall, you cut to another random angle of the track. This is nothing but a donut-shaped track, and yet I was still getting lost. And by the way, square and circle moves you left and right. Number 46, Punierose. What? I seriously don't know what any of this is about. All I know is that the longer the line gets, the faster the music gets, and that's it? I thought this was Snake or something, but no.
Speeding up.
What are you even saying? Fuck this shit. Number 47, Car Demo. My god, another one in silence. Have you got any other cars? Well, hey, at least I can make my own little story here. One day, Lightning McQueen met Sally in the middle of the road and he was feeling very naughty and so decided to raid her boot and leave his oil in there at the end. Number 48, Between the Eyes. Sounds painful. And yes, this is painful. It's a racing game and I wouldn't argue a bad one, but still, bleh, look at this. Your eyes can dissect this game as good as I can bother talking about it, so before I'm sick anymore, let's move right on out of here. Number 49, Second Offense Demo. What is this? What is that? What is this? What is this? I really don't have a clue what's going on here. All I can say is that this is a good PS1 face. It's like PS2 quality, but that's all though. Number 50, Fatal Fantasy VII. Is this... What is this? Is this a rip-off? What is this? That's the guy who now works at Square Enix. What's going on here? Is this a prototype thing for Final Fantasy VII? What's going on here? If this is like demo FF7 for 3D models and animations, then this is gaming history right here. But if not, then it's just a waste of time. Number 51, Fujiyama. This here is a slideshow software on how fucking awesome Mount Fuji is and pictures taken from different areas of Japan. This is probably one of the earliest instances of a pure fandom game being distributed to masses on a popular console, and honestly I find it kind of unsettling. Ugh, what am I looking at here? Why don't you marry the thing? You love it so much. Number 52, Unknown. Literally unknown. And there is no sound here again. Looks like another testing software for a top-down shooter, and it looks like it has potential, but again, there's nothing going on. It isn't finished, so What more can I say? Well, how about we move on to number 53, Appointed Station. One of the worst names I've ever heard for a video game, and another shooter in a test phase. But look at this. This shit is actually awesome for independent PS1 development. Well done, devs. Yoi did it. But I suppose you also got me, like, what, 3 game overs at once? I must be the worst fucking player of all time. Number 54, Sam the Boulder Man. Is there a reason he never reached superstardom alongside Mario? Well, using the same intro music from Clone, the same sound effects from Clone, and the gameplay from Rocks and Gems with random deaths and all says practically everything I need to know, and holy shit, every time you grab a mushroom, there's that deathly scream from Clone ready to kill your heart. So yes, sorry Sam the Boulder Man, you suck. On to the next one. Number 55, Gravitation. Oh! And honestly, this one is a lot of fun, even if it's better with 2 players. You steer and use the engines, that's it. And you have to navigate around an obstacle course with numbered gates. The physics are fun, it's satisfying to fly, and it's really damn fun. If
A little bit hard.
Luckily, you can try beating your own times if you haven't got a friend, but when you do, I remember playing this game with my sister over a decade ago, and it's a blast, especially when you can put your own CD in to listen to music. Number 56, Z2. Yay, I've always wanted to play a game where I'm a fruit blender firing rockets at tanks, then firing rockets at turrets, and the turrets never taking damage and then dying. I've always wanted to play a game like that. Number 57, Combat 3D, and holy shit, this is a remake, people. A remake of Combat on the Atari 2600, but in 3D, and it works just as well. It's a shame there are no sounds. Even a 1977 Atari game could do that really well, but it's a project done by maybe one person on a custom PS1. I think I'll let it slide. Number 58, Revolution, and this is another fun game, thank God. It's a flying simulator with an obstacle course that controls really well, and it's really satisfying to nail with high speeds. This is decent programming here. I'm impressed. I wish there was a little bit of music or something, but well, it's good. Number 59, Snowball Fight. We hope you enjoy the game. Oh, fuck me with a broomstick. This is another damn 2-player only game, and that's a shame because it looks like it'd be hilarious fun. It controls well, the ice physics add to the chaos, there's health bars, it just looks really fun. Shame I'm a Larry Loner, honestly. Number 60, One-on-One. I think I'm just about done here. Number 61, Invaders from Mars. So I can destroy buildings, I can shoot mines, I can fly, but I keep getting hit by something. I assume I'm fighting someone because of the health bar, but they appear to be invisible. Stop shooting me! Help! Help! Quick, run away! Run! Escape from the game! Goodbye, map! We had good times together, I'll always love you forever!
Only 5 more to go. Come on, I'm nearly there. Oh, jeez. You know what? I'm at least glad this isn't like Action 52, where back in the day I would have had to have paid $200 up front for one singular cartridge of 52 shitty, awful, horrible games. I mean, at least it's not like that. These came free in demo discs and magazines, so you're paying for that, and then this is just a bonus, but... oh, I just can't believe it.
Number 62, Hover Car Racing. So I can already pick my own name, pick my own custom color, and play Tetris while waiting for another player? Fucking awesome. And the game is pretty awesome too. It's another Micro Machines deal, but it plays really tightly and is really satisfying to get every corner perfectly drifted. It's a shame I lost, but whatever. It controls really well, it's really fast paced. I had a lot of fun with this one, that I did. Number 63, Sphere. It's a game about a sphere, couldn't you tell? And I don't know what you do here. I found another disco ball in the vast desert, but I couldn't shoot it or touch it, so... yeah, fuck this. Number 64, Super Ramp Skater Deluxe Turbo Alpha Plus. Sound awesome? This is the game. I can't move. I can't ollie. I can't do anything. It's wank. Number 65, the penultimate game, Inertia. More spheres, more silence, but the ball doesn't actually roll properly. How curious. How do I get up here? Why can't I move? Oh, I fell. Come on, get up. Oh, I fell. Oh, maybe I just need to run up. Oh, I fell. Let's try again. Oh, fuck off. Yes, I'm gonna do it. Yay, next level. It's the same thing. And for the final game, number 66, we have Jagged. It's Tetris with less control over where your pieces go. Shit.
Okay, I'm done. I'm fucking exhausted. My brain is hurting. 66 games. Some good, mostly terrible. I know only hate. Hate, 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 hate. Happy 500,000 subscribers, everybody! And thank you so much again. I hope that this marathon video of sorts was worth 500,000 of you following my uploads. It was quite an undertaking, I must say. The next milestone, I would say indeed, is 1 million. And we all know what that means. We'll be covering a very beloved game series. One that I have neglected to talk about just for the right occasion, and 1 million subscribers is the one it's going to be on. And what is it exactly? So I'll leave you with that, and if it's your birthday or watching this video, happy frickin' birthday to you, and please remember to stay beautiful.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching this video, and thanks so much for 500,000 subscribers. I can't believe it, I really can't. But before the outtakes come on today, I'd like to thank the sponsors for today's episode of Categories Today, thepixelempire.com, where if you go in the description, everything you see on the screen here, all these original TV, movie and game wall print designs, high glossy quality posters and everything like that. If you go to thepixelempire.com and use the coupon code CADDY on checkout, you get 15% off of any order and help support this channel directly. There's so much awesome stuff, my house is covered in it. So yeah, please go and have a look. Thanks for listening, everyone, and here are some outtakes for you.
Subscribe.
Half. Oh wait, is the mic on?
Yeah.
So hey, this is already pretty flattering. So how about flattering? Oh fuck!
What are you on about?
We're on 33 games and we're only halfway there.
Hey everyone, my name is Astri, and like many other Gen Z kids, I grew up with an unrestricted access to the internet, which means that I was part of those kids who begged their parents for a Club Penguin membership while the market crashed in 2008. Back in the late 2000s and early 2010s, virtual worlds aimed at young audiences saw a boom in popularity online, from the mainstream ones like Club Penguin, Moshi Monsters, or Webkins, to the Panfus, Skylanders Universe, and World of Cars Online. Boy, were these games my not to be a boomer, but I am so glad I spent my developmental years crushing on Katsuma from Moshi Monsters instead of Fortnite skins. Which I arguably still do anyway, but that's besides the point. So tonight, instead of making an actual high quality horror video that pays my bills, I am going to talk about a dead game you've never heard of because I can't let the past go. I am sure we have all tried to find pieces of media we vaguely remember from our childhoods before. Media that, over the course of the years, has gotten lost in the annals of history. It feels like regardless of how deep you dive into the Wayback Machine, how many keywords you use, or how many old forum posts you find, your search always seems to draw a blank. Almost as if that piece of media never actually existed. Tonight, we will discuss the biggest virtual world that disappeared. One that I deeply loved when I was younger, and that I had completely forgotten about for almost 15 years. How can an MMO run by no one other than Cartoon Network, and with a player base that at its peak had over 12 million active players, not only disappear out of thin air, but be so obscure and forgotten about that most people watching this video have never even heard of it before? This is the Mundo Tunix Deep Dive. We will explore the history of one of Cartoon Network's most interesting cases of lost media, and the extremely grim cover-up surrounding its disappearance. Before I started writing the script for this video, I believed every Gen Z kid grew up and loved the Tunics because of how prevalent they were for Cartoon Network's marketing back in 2010, as turning your TV on meant getting bombarded by these wacky guys and their silly antics via bumpers, cartoons, an MMO, and even real-life merchandise. But, as it turns out, Cartoon Network never aired any Tunics content in Canada or the US. Therefore, there are no videos about the Tunics virtual world on YouTube in English whatsoever. Like seriously, I have never seen anyone bring up in an Icebreak video, deep dive, or in a Gen Z nostalgia bait edit. Which means the story of Mundo Tunics was never shared across the world until today. A lot of my subscribers and followers on Twitter sometimes believe I am Canadian or from the US, which isn't the case at all. I am actually Latin American, more specifically born and raised in Mexico. So, because I am an up-and-coming retro slob poster, it is my duty to share with the world this really obscure and niche part of my childhood to those who missed out. For some reason, I've always held a strange curse that anything I ever hyperfixated on as a kid faded into obscurity in the years down the line. I'm serious, it's kind of getting annoying. Even in the Spanish-speaking side of the internet, no one really talks about the Tunics or how its MMO, silent silently died despite being the face of Cartoon Network for years. So that's the reason I'm making this video. Having clarified that, did you know that the Astray channel is almost at 10,000 subscribers? Only 2.5% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed. Making this video was insane. A month of my life and 11,000 words later, I humbly ask you to like and subscribe so you can help me fulfill my dream of becoming a YouTuber.
And special thanks to Crackers with Chaz for donating $10 to the channel.
Tonight, we're going on the Tunics franchise deep dive. We will discuss everything and anything that has to do with this mysterious era of branding for the Cartoon Network channel. From its long history, its spin-offs, how a virtual world like this one even became lost media in the first place, and the depressing reasons it closed down for good. Cartoon Network has had many different aesthetics or eras through the passage of time. From its birth in the late 90s with the rustic checkerboard era, the minimalist prism aesthetic that children see in their screens today, to the Tunics era that lasted from 2010 to 2012, which we will explore tonight. The channel has gone through many different iterations for many generations of kids. Each Cartoon Network era was marked by two factors. One, the current shows airing at the time, as well as the artistic direction that their bumpers, logos, and jingles had going on for them. So, before answering what a Tunics is, we have to look back 6 years before their birth. Cartoon Network City, which started on June 14, 2004 and ended on May 8, 2007, is considered by many longtime fans to have been the best Cartoon Network era, and I can't blame them. This era has aged fantastically well, given that the artistic direction for their bumpers was incredibly unique. They consisted in having every Cartoon Network character living their daily lives in the real world and interacting with each other. I was still too young to fully remember this era, given that I was born in 2004. But I and many other kids thought that crossovers were the coolest thing ever. So seeing ads where both DK and the Agents and Ben 10 had to ride the Skytrain of Eternal Damnation to the Darklands of Suri is really funny to think about. Now that I'm older, I can also really appreciate it from a marketing POV. Remember, back in the 2000s, ad breaks were unskippable unlike today, which was extremely annoying. But these bumpers were so well executed and non-intrusive that we're still talking about them nearly 20 years later with great fondness. Naturally, this era came to an end in 2007. But what would Cartoon Network even do to replace Sea and City? What is cooler than seeing your favorite cartoon characters in a massive real-life crossover? The answer is nothing.
I am nothing!
In the US and Canada, what many consider to be the worst set of eras for Cartoon Network released. From 2006 to 2008, the Yes era, the Summer 2007 era, and the Fall is Something Grown-Ups Invented era reigned supreme, which essentially all ditched using iconic cartoon characters for their bumpers, opting instead to use live action. The dark eras use graffiti, urban, and punk aesthetics to appeal to a more teenage audience, which seems to have been a growing trend on various kids' TV networks up until the mid-2010s. But remember, the channel is called Cartoon Network. Why would you use meat sacks if cartoon is literally in the name? The transition from Cartoon Network City to the dark eras was jarring to say the least, and the younger audience seems to have been dissatisfied with the change too, creating a sort of disconnect with the viewer and the channel. There were many factors that contributed to this, the most important one being that the channel was poorly managed by a guy named Stuart Snyder. The former head of the WWE later turned the president of Cartoon Network. Snyder did not understand what the audience wanted. I can assure you that the man responsible for Rakishi's mothering his ass against innocents shouldn't be in charge of managing the network responsible for Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. And after a series of scandals that are their own can of worms, Cartoon Network's viewership steadily declined over these years, and with more cartoons that we now consider to be classics concluding, the network was left in a severe state of drought, struggling and in dire need of a change if it wanted to survive, which led to the creation of the Nudes. The very unfortunately named Nudes were the 8th era only in the English-speaking versions of Cartoon Network. These new mascots were intended to be a new fresh start for the channel, serving as a complete revamp in aesthetics. The Nudes were elongated 3D models with ears and stubby legs that did all sorts of things really. From being monochromatic to colorful or using Ben 10's dead skin as cosplay, the Nudes bumpers had them doing anything and everything. From literally just vibing and playing sports to whatever this is. which I think is pretty fucking badass. When I was younger, I grew up in Latin America, so I did not see the nudes on TV, but I remember that I accidentally stumbled upon them while searching up something in the Cartoon Network website, and I hated how they looked. Some of these characters look fine, but the whole skinny legend thing doesn't really work well with every character. Like, why did they make Chowder anorexic? I'm actually really curious if any of you are from the US or from Canada and were alive during the nudes era, which I'm assuming you weren't because my viewer base is made up of gay furries from Poland or 6-year-olds with no concept of good taste. What did you think of them? Do people remember the nudes as just another boring ad, or are they fondly remembered? Because personally, the only nudes I want to look at are your mom's "I tell you that, Buster Brown Gator dang." In the end, it seems like the nudes succeeded to some degree in helping the channel stay afloat, and just like they came, they went in 2010. So, Astray, you're probably wondering, if the nudes were the face of Cartoon Network only in the US and Canada, what was up in the rest of the world? Remember how I mentioned that Cartoon Network City was extremely beloved and successful, and how replacing it with the much more inferior Dark Eras was a questionable decision by the channel? What if I told you that Cartoon Network City never ended in 2007 in Latin America? It actually concluded in 2010, and it was so beloved that they skipped the Dark Ages altogether. So what did they follow it up with, and how did they use Cartoon Network's USA's failure as a learning opportunity? I present to you the Toonix era. Back in the mid to late 2000s, among the TV channels made for kids, Cartoon Network was seen as the king in Latin America. Yet, oddly, the Cartoon Network website was not pulling the numbers its competitors were. This was the era of flash games for kids. Every big TV network had a website full of them. Disney, Nickelodeon, and Discovery Kids were all thriving, but Cartoon Network wasn't. Why? Now, we are all used to not only living with technology, but we understand how to quote-unquote use it correctly. Tech literacy is something that children seem to be born with nowadays. Literally, anytime I see a coughing baby holding an iPad, I audibly have to whisper, "Holy shit, literally Black Mirror," to not have a meltdown in public. But back in the day, tech savviness was a hard-earned badge of honor. See, the internet as a whole was only starting to take shape and become more common in Latin American households in the mid to late 2000s, as opposed to the 90s in the US or Canada. So, the reason that the biggest TV channel for kids was doing crazy good on air but not online was because children were not using the official Cartoon Network website to play Cartoon Network games. See, kids have a very peculiar way of searching for things on the web. On everyone's souls, including mine, we all looked up Foxy and Bonnie kissing when we were 10. To play Cartoon Network flash games, kids mostly used keywords like Ben 10 game or Play Samurai Jack in the search bar, which led them to unofficial websites hosting official CN flash games without permission. Naturally, very young kids won't be able to tell the difference between a malware website and the official URL www.cartoonnetwork.com.mx/LA. They literally do not even pay taxes, so what did you think? Whether it was an issue of bad web design or poor optimization of the SEO that led children to use unofficial websites, I don't really know. But Cartoon Network needed to do something that the other websites could not have to earn back the users who were rightfully theirs. So, at some point in 2008, Cartoon Network Latin America redesigned its website, something more accessible and fun, yet sleek and vibrant. But a new underpaid web designer wasn't the only change. The website introduced the Toonix. The Toonix were Cartoon Network Latin America's fifth era, being the direct successors of Cartoon Network City, which was the fourth. For all intents and purposes, the nudes and the Toonix started off as equivalents, white creatures that become colorful or mimic other cartoon characters during the commercial breaks. But, once again, how can such an iconic and timeless era like Cartoon Network City be replaced by a knockoff of another set of blank creatures that performed just okay? The Toonix had crazy, massive, stinky juicy shoes to fill. But I believe they did it successfully. While in the US, the nudes were the face of Cartoon Network's TV channel, the Toonix saw the booming Latin American internet as a way to make bank and capitalize off the web and TV at the same time. These silly monochromatic characters known as the Toonix were the face of the Cartoon Network website from 2008 to 2012, and in a wild turn of events, would eventually become the face of the channel from 2010 to 2012 across Latin America and in some places in Europe and Asia. Designed by an Argentinian graphic design company named Cuna, the Toonix were based on their American counterparts. the nudes, but with a square head and small chibi-like bodies, acting like blank sheets for customizability to let the creativity of players run wild. And so, Cartoon Network 2.0 served as a revamp for the website, where the tunics were the center of attention. Now, the website offered more than low-quality clips from Billy and Mandy or shitty Flash games developed by someone from a third-world country. The lower half of the website now displayed a massive, totally non-intrusive banner suggesting you to create a Tunics and join the Tunics' world. Being fully centered and separate from all the other Flash games, you knew that creating a Tunics was something special. Upon clicking the banner, users would get bombarded with a variety of features, patterns, accessories, and color palettes they could use to create their very own unique Tunics. I actually spent countless hours in the Tunics creator, and for some reason I really enjoyed printing them out and playing with the little paper cutouts in my room by myself, because Astray is an only child. But why did the Latin American Cartoon Network executives choose to make their own mascot instead of simply using the nudes? It certainly feels like a lot of extra effort to create a new mascot from the ground up, and eventually have to make a whole new set of bumpers for what was essentially a glorified web ad. Or why not make a nude creator instead of a Tunics creator? I personally believe it boils down to two different factors. Number one, the regional preferences of each market, and number two, the motives behind the creation of each mascot. Don't get me wrong, I am no business expert. I literally only took 2 business electives in college and hated them so much that I might be just talking out of my ass here. But I believe both existed to satisfy different needs for different markets. While in the US, the nudes were a direct result of trying to appeal to a cooler, more mature teenage audience, taking inspiration from vinyl figures and skating aesthetics, for example, in Latin America, the Tunics existed to make the Cartoon Network website more accessible, appealing, and inviting to very young kids who didn't know how to use keywords on Google. I also remember that, generally speaking, chibi characters did pretty well in Mexico back in the early 2010s. Characters like Tweety Bird, Chili Willy, or Hello Kitty were all really iconic and common to see in merchandise or in the messages that your aunt sends you every morning. I think the cool versus cute theory is further supported by the fact that localizations in the US tend to edit anything remotely friendly looking into something more badass. For example, editing Kirby to look pissed instead of smiley in game covers. I also saw one person online claiming that the regional differences occurred due to copyright issues, which I couldn't find anything to confirm the validity of, so I'll just put it out there just in case. Either way, the massive success of the Tunics creator in 2008 would eventually lead to them becoming the face of the Cartoon Network TV channel and getting their own Latin American exclusive virtual world in 2010. Talk about overreaching. Virtual worlds were the thing every company tried to get their hands on to make it big back in the 2000s. But what even are virtual worlds? These were online experiences mostly targeted to kids, where its users were able to interact with each other and the digital environment around them via the internet, with great emphasis on customization, creativity, and providing a safe environment for children to make friends. Mundo Tunics, meaning Tunics World in English, went through 2 major iterations. The early version, which we will be referring to as the first Mundo Tunics for short, because it sounds super badass, and the final version. The first Mundo Tunics is something that is genuinely intriguing. Through the course of the years, the first version of the game became, and I cannot stress this enough, completely lost. As it turns out, there's not a single video recording of the first Mundo Tunics, so you'll have to bear with me and pretend that this Club Penguin gameplay is actually the game I'm talking about. I am so sorry. This is a version I never got to play, given that it was only available from 2008 to 2009, which means I still hadn't developed a consciousness yet. The first Mundo Tunics worked more like a chat room rather than an actual virtual world, given that the main focus was the players' interactions with each other rather than being a minigame collection with interactive elements like Club Penguin, which, speaking of, this version of the game is to Mundo Tunics what Experimental Penguins was to Club Penguin. In the first Mundo Tunics, players would register their accounts by creating their own customizable tunics in the Cartoon Network website. The game itself took place in something referred to as the Cosmos, across a variety of planets. The planets were based on very specific themes, which was one of the main advertisement points of the game. Among these planets were the Cereal Planet, the Dojo Planet, the Party Planet, the Has-Been Hotel planet, and the Stuffed Animal planet at the very least. But witnesses say there were definitely more. It seems like each of these planets had one or more actual Cartoon Network characters in the background. In this case, we can see Billy and Mandy, or here, something that appears to be a McDonald's Play Place planet had Blue and Mac from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends chilling in the background. Unfortunately, due to how long this version of the game was playable at, there are many other planets whose existence went completely undocumented. While writing down this script, I found a video by the user Red Apple about this exact topic. This user seems to have played this version of Mundo Tunix, so they actually redrew some of these lost planets. There are various users in the comment section of the video who seem to agree there was some form of cemetery world for them to explore. But now, what did the gameplay actually look like? The first Mundo Tunix was a top-down 2D game where its players could explore rooms and socialize with each other. The interface present in these screenshots also provides a ton of valuable information to understand the player dynamics. On the top left corner, we see the player's username along with their tunics, a friend list, and the quantity of people currently in the planet/room. Right next to it, we see the credits tab, which worked as in-game currency. Players could use credits to buy furniture or to customize their character. As far as I understood and remembered, these credits were earned via playing games, but it also appears that, in a very appropriate fashion for a kids game in the 2000s, an option to use mom's credit card to purchase credits seems to also have been available. The middle top left of the screen displayed the time as well as which cartoon was currently on air in the Cartoon Network channel, which I think is really cool and really drives home how symbiotic the relationship of the channel and the website were at some point. At its right, players could see the live results for Votatun, meaning Tune Vote in English, which was a block in programming which took place every Saturday, where kids could vote between two prompted cartoons to determine which show would air for the following hour. I might add that little Astray loved Votatun. The bumpers and commercials went so fucking hard, like oh my god. We can also see a button to turn off the music and another one to return to the actual Cartoon Network website. The bottom right corner says return to the Cosmos, which worked as the map. This screenshot is probably how the Cosmos planet selection screen looked. Now, this other button is an absolute mystery. We have a photo of Billy with the text, dive off head first into Zuka's pool, followed by a high amount of credits and a button to buy more. What? This might actually be an anthropology level mystery, because what the fuck does any of this mean? My first thought was that this had to be some form of side quest, but the button next to the credits says buy instead of something like accept. So what's the deal here? When aliens find our remains, like in the movie AI, they will be just as confused as I am. The mid-bottom has a chat box to talk to other players. Since this was a kids game, the chat for minors had a profanity filter, while players who were over the age of 16 seemed to be essentially able to write anything in chat with little to no moderation. I don't think I need to spell out why this was an incredibly stupid idea, but well, we'll talk about it soon enough. Then we have what are photos of Billy. Again, for some reason. Apparently, these were emotions. Normally, images like smiles, frowns, or crying tunixes would be displayed here. Obviously, after being clicked, the tunix would perform said actions. I don't know why this is Billy though. At the very end, we see an option that says planet hopping, which was essentially a take me to a random planet button, revealing that the game must have had at least a decent amount of planets to choose from. Now, to end this segment, I would also like to talk about the obscure localization that the game received, which was naturally named Tunix World, being a direct translation from Spanish. This was Cartoon Network Latin America's way of spreading the Tunix brand across different countries. Surprisingly enough, despite having found clips from Tunix World that were of much higher quality than that of the first Mundo Tunixes, I couldn't find a lot of information about the time frame in which this localization was playable, so instead of dedicating a whole segment to it, I would like to talk about some of its major differences here. First of all, the international version, aka Tunix World, seemed to have been a platformer with chat room elements rather than being a chat room itself, as well as containing assets in 3D. Visually speaking, I'm a really big fan of the way it looks and the angle in which we interact with the game. It almost feels as if this was supposed to be played on a DS. Earlier in the video, we talked about the planets that were available in the first Mundo Tunix, and it seems like Tunix World might have had its own unique set of planets as well, as I found videos showing a game world, a training world, my world, and shop world, which maybe or may not have been part of the original Mundo Tunix. But the coolest thing in my opinion is the My World planet. In the international version, players actually own a customizable planet, just like in Mormonism. Wow. I'm not really sure if the Latin American version of the first Mundo Tunics had an equivalent to this. It most likely had one, but I couldn't find any concrete evidence about it. My World worked like the igloos from Club Penguin or the cribs from UB Funkies, a sort of home where users could spend credits to buy furniture and decorate it as their hearts pleased. I found this clip from 13 years ago where a user decorated their world like a room, and here's an incredibly niche and autistic reference, but it reminds me of the Vanos gaming video where they roleplayed as Toy Story characters. However, while watching this My World tour, I found something really cool. The interface present in Tunic's world is completely different to the one we saw earlier or the one we will see in the future, which makes me wonder, to which extent was this game altered in the localization? If anyone from the UK is watching this video and you happen to have played this when you were younger, feel free to tell me all about it. The first Mundo Tunics was a massive success. Cartoon Network Latin America realized they had a golden goose in their hands. The Tunics and Mundo Tunics were so good at bringing new people to the website that the Tunics had become synonymous with the brand. And so, a new era for the channel had begun. The Tunics took over the web, earning the Cartoon Network website millions of users and a lot of cash. So, a TV takeover seemed like the smartest move. The Tunics were a symbol for connecting the viewer to the channel, and so, on August 5th of 2010, the Tunics era had officially begun. Every form of Cartoon Network marketing now include the Tunics in Latin America, the same way that the Nudes did for the US. There's hours and hours worth of Tunics bumpers. Hell, they were so dedicated into creating a Tunics counterpart for every cartoon that even obscure shows like Master Raindrop and events like Cine Cartoon got one of their own. The quantity of Tunics content was so vast, there are still many Tunics related bumpers or ads that are lost media, despite how much was successfully archived. The level of dedication and detail is insane, and I feel it's worth reiterating that Cartoon Network Latin America could have easily gotten away with using the Nudes instead, given that every bumper needed was already made. But they chose the mascots that kids across Latin America had already fallen in love with. While the Nudes were simply the face of the channel, the Tunics were in every possible medium for Cartoon Network, dominating the web, TV, and even being featured in a McDonald's Happy Meal all the way back in 2013. So, if you're not sick of the Tunics by now, get ready, because the bumpers and an MMO were not enough to contain them, as they also had their own TV show type thingy. A series of bite-sized Tunics animations that were almost 2 minutes in length would sporadically air from time to time. Originally, in the first draft of this video script, I was only able to find 2 of these Tunics episodes online, but while proofreading, I actually found the entirety of these shorts available on YouTube in high quality and dubbed in British English, which was a wild find. I also refound my favorite Tunics episode that I completely forgot about. There's one where a Tunics called Agent Sheep infiltrates a secret base, but no one questions it because it's just a sheep. I just want to say that the world we see that the Tunics inhabit in these shorts are super creative and original. I haven't seen many other pieces of media with this artistic direction. It feels incredibly alien and foreign. But by far, and in my honest opinion, the best thing that has ever come out of the Tunics era was a little contest that Cartoon Network ran featuring the Tunics creator, where if a user signed up and designed a really cool and creative Tunics, they would be featured on TV. Imagine how thrilling it must have been for 5-year-olds across Latin America to see their own Tunics on TV for the whole continent to watch. I think that's a really nice way of getting your viewer base involved in your channel, and it's a really nice gesture to give back to the community. I don't know, even 20-year-old me would love to make an Astray Tunics and have it be shared across the world. So, after having taken this small break to talk about the Tunics on TV, let's return to the web and discuss the definitive version of Mundo Tunics. The Tunics takeover was in full swing, and it almost felt as if it was never going to slow down. Considering that the internet was starting to become more common and prevalent in Latin American households, there was a huge demand for a game like this coming from the Latin American sphere. And it looks like the demand was met, as Mundo Tunics, the game that started as a quirky character creator, later turned virtual world, had become a massive multiplayer online game, with over 12 million registered users in just 3 years. In this current day and age, these look like rookie numbers. numbers. Like, there are currently more people subscribed to Morgs than people who played Mundo Tunics. But these numbers are still impressive, given that these 2 million users were all Latin American people. Just